Shalom, my name is Yeshua Yaakov Ben Avraham. I'm making this video from Jerusalem, and the purpose of this video is to clarify really a number of things that I've been doing that have confused rather significantly the viewing audiences that have been so kind as to take the time and effort to view. Okay, inductively, bottom up is the meaning here of the buzz marketing. And that's basically, let's put it in perspective. The futurists like Lee Elkwood, John Nesbitt, Faith Popcorn, Mary Salzman, and Peter Schwartz, they all predicted a transformation, and they didn't articulate it. They just said there's a big change coming, and in 1991, I predicted the collapse of the local reality, and that was kind of confusing to everyone. Well, 10 years later, in 2001, about a year after the World Trade Center, these futurists began to catch on a little bit to what I was saying. Okay, so moving right along, let's say a little more about what I'm doing and why. In Jerusalem, we're branding Humanomics as the solution to the collapse of the local reality because there is a new East-West convergence model, and that's Humanomics. Okay, how are we doing it? Viral media campaign, that's the particular campaign that branded, now we're talking about really a type of branding. That viral media campaign was the techniques that basically were used to brand the candidate Obama. So we saw that it works, and it got a president elected. How? With soft power, which is recognition and acceptance of. So we're branding Humanomics in this way, and in particular, its new science and technology prescription for man's ascent and cognitive habitation. All right, what's significant in the redemptive ascent of man is habitation in the anthropocentric, or I should say more accurately, the anthropologic humanism and traditional spiritualism, which is nothing more than saying the convergence of the religious and the secular. There is, in redemption, an ascent into a common or a shared mindset. Okay. And this is the result of the science and technology, cognitive behavioral science in general, and its technologies, primary technology, which is identity resolution. Okay, all of this is a communications process in order to brand not only the solution, but to actually produce, develop, and deliver it. Okay, and as it happens, there is in parallel a new prescriptive wealth creation process solution, because the world economy in general and the American economy is in great distress and crisis. Now, a bit of news that I think will put things in perspective. This tells us the meta-analysis gives every indication that we're facing about a 7 to 8 year cycle of recession before the new economic paradigm that's the solution as new global technological infrastructure based upon the new economic paradigm comes online and provides the sustainable growth, macroeconomic growth of jobs creation that solves the problem. So what we did when we saw the enormity and the gravity of the problem, this dissemination process of this new science and technology, we recognized that the content that we were putting across on the web was confusing a lot of people, and it needed a very robust underpinning in public following. So we mixed it deliberately in the inductive model with noise and signal to make it more robust, while we retain the integrity of message while not obviously remaining on message. Okay, why? Because let me give you an example of a problem. When Bush campaigned, he gained enough sufficient public acceptance soft power, if you please, to win the election. But when he came into office, before that time, his father realized that he had no hard power with which to govern. His father had previously been the president. And so he plugged in and put Cheney. Cheney was Bush's hard power. So really, this is the relationship that we're recognizing. We're recognizing that Obama's been elected with soft power. He has no hard power to govern. So he has to have the new science and technology. And but beyond the next 8 years, we're also aware that there will be the continuity will be essential to sustaining the process. So therefore, we are branding inductively bottom up to gain the requisite domestic and international soft power, acceptance and recognition of the collapse of the local reality, the end of mankind's exile, the convergence model of humanomics in general as a framework, and in particular this new economic paradigm is the solution based on the development of it as new world-class global technological infrastructure. This new science and technology is the hard power, and this is sustainable, and this is going to go beyond, Obama needs it now to govern with, but when he leaves office, there has to be, not only in America, but around the world, the hard power that is sustainable to keep this process going forward. So that's why we've done what we've done. Okay. Therefore, what? In perspective, what we're doing to brand humanomics is using, as I said, the ways of the soft power globally, so that it's the strategic engine that drives recognition and acceptance of the science as its hard power. Okay. While it's to be recognized and noted that buzz marketing, and this is what it's called, buzz marketing, works bottom up only when what is branded has recognizable relation to relation to something significant, real, and observable in the world. Okay, so what are we saying? We're saying that the buzz marketing technique, the viral media techniques for branding and acquiring the soft power is critical in the sense that its sustainability actually comes from the hard power, but the long term it has to balance both the soft power, the acceptance and recognition, with the actual science and technology, which is the hard power for the delivery. Okay, so the global collapse of the local reality was articulated, and as our former world ended right before our eyes, here is this branding process acquiring soft power. And it said to everybody, it said, look, here's the East and West systems, ideologies, communism, capitalism, economies, capital markets, nations, industries, enterprises, communities, the World Trade Center, Twin Towers, leaders, potentates, families, individuals of all stripes, Bernie Madoffs, all collapsing since 2001. And this process begs the question, ladies and gentlemen, in what way are all these collapsing local realities, quote unquote, connected as one process of man's transformation? And this is why we ask the question, this is why we brand this. We've got to get everybody on the same page and recognize and accepting the end of man's exile. Okay, herein the example offered confirms the vital need to end the denial of this process, and that's where we are right now. We have the end of man's exile, but we're globally in denial. Okay, so we got to end the denial. Why? More particularly, the old model of exiles given to receive, which is the old anthropological, socialist, psychological model of man's mind, okay, has to end, and two, the old economic division of labor has to end, so we can up-ramp the new. This is the essential meta-narrative of 9/11. The old is out and the new is in. 7 years of recession, folks, that's where we are. Mr. Obama has to end the campaign rhetoric and move quickly from outcomes, goals and outcomes and promises, 3 million jobs, to process thinking of the new cognitive and eventual habitation, to adopt the new economic paradigm, mandate its domestic policy and development programs as new new world-class global technology based upon the new economic paradigm, the integration of labor. And this is where we are. It's new methods of work and higher standards of productivity by an order of magnitude, I might add, now create and will sustain long-term demand. It'll take us from a 14 trillion to a 45 to 50 trillion GDP. This is where we are. This is why I did what I've done. And this has been confusing, and this video was to make it clear. I'm Yeshua Yaakov Ben Avraham in Jerusalem. Thank you for listening. I'm the author of the trilogy Humanomics, its central organizing principle, given its new economic paradigm, the integration of labor. That's the hard power that Mr. Obama now needs and all the world leaders need in the G9 and the G20 to govern in this world economic crisis. Folks, pull in your belt, tighten the belt. We've got 7 years of recession ahead of us. Thank you for listening. I'm Yeshua Yaakov from Jerusalem.